in the southernmost region of Chile, South America. Known for its rugged beauty and immaculate landscapes, Patagonia is also notorious for challenging, unpredictable, and difficult weather. Over the next 10 days, my companion Ezekiel and I will be making our way by means of packraft down the Rio Baker River, the most voluminous river in the region. If all goes according to plan, we'll make our way down the Rio Baker to a tributary known as the Ventisquere, and we'll make our way up 20 kilometers to a glacier-fed lake, an area that's relatively untouched and very much unexplored. Afterwards, we hope to make our way out, down, and to the coast of the Pacific Ocean. A lot remains to be seen on this trip, as I've never been in a packraft before, and this is a long trip for a first-timer. Stoked to be out here. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get into it. First day done, plenty more to come. Beautiful weather we're having already, and it looks like we have a few more days of this, but then it gets nasty. So we're gonna enjoy it while we can, but for now, good night's rest, and then we're gonna see how far we can make it down the Rio Baker tomorrow. So stoked to be out here. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we slept in, but I got amazing sleep, so it was worth it.
All right, let's take a look at the map here. We're way down here in the southern regions of Chile. Flipping over to Gaia, which is the map that we're using for this. We put on near the town of Cochrane, and we're here on the Rio Baker River, having done about 6 kilometers so far. For the rest of the trip, we plan to make our way down the Rio Baker. These are all notable features, obstacles. This one being a class 5 that we have to portage. Making our way to the Ventisquere, up 20 kilometers up this river. We're gonna have to cross over it multiple times. It's gonna be very challenging. It's gonna be the most strenuous part of the trip. Up to this glacier-fed lake, and look, this massive glacier feeds it. Beautiful mountains surround this lake. So excited for that. And then hopefully we're gonna make our way up to this glacier lake as well. Camp here, that's another massive glacier. This area is relatively unexplored. It's just a challenging trek to get up there. So as you can see, it's surrounded by big, beautiful mountains. Afterwards, making our way back down the Ventisquere, down the Rio Baker, and if we're able to, make our way all the way to the ocean. This is the Pacific Ocean. This is salt water here. Once we get to a big obstacle, I deflate this, take everything out, I roll this up, and I can put it on my back. This trip would be impossible with a traditional canoe. They're just too heavy, too cumbersome. And to hike 20 kilometers upstream with a canoe on your back, plus all your gear, no thank you. But with a packraft, it makes everything possible. Oh, okay, that's good. Back on the water, it's about 10. We are gonna paddle all day. We're gonna paddle. We wanna make it as far as we can because the Rio Baker is gonna be the easy part. Heading up the Ventisquere, the hiking and trekking part will be the most difficult. So we wanna get there as soon as we can, so we give ourselves the most opportunity and the most time to be successful. So today we paddle. Already starting to see some beautiful snow-covered peaks off in the distance. We'll be amongst those in a matter of days, maybe even as early as today. Cool thing is, about 7 months ago, I was up in the Yukon Territories in northern Canada, and each paddle stroke I made on the Snake River was the furthest point I'd ever been north in my entire life. Now I'm here on the Rio Baker of South America, and each paddle stroke I make is the furthest south I've ever been in my entire life. Pretty surreal. We're coming up to our first set of rapids. It's a class 2, and from here it looks really sketchy. Plus all the winds blowing everywhere, it makes for it a really difficult read. Made it through our first set of rapids, just a class 2, but it was very voluminous water. Honestly, I didn't feel like I had much control over the boat. I did feel very stable. This is just all buoyancy, it's just 2 massive airbags that's really low to the water. So I feel very stable in this thing, but I didn't feel like I had much control. I just went where the water took me and got it on the other end. Absolutely loving these campsites that we have had so far. Reminiscent of southern Ontario and the deciduous, grassy fields that you'd experience down there. I've never got to camp in southern Ontario before. It's incredible because it's February right now, mid-February, and back home it's -20. And yet I'm here on the banks of the Rio Baker in southern Chile in Patagonia, enjoying this midsummer sun by this beautiful campfire. Life's good. Life's really good. It's been raining a little bit, so the water's a little silty, but we're just drinking it straight from the river, and it's perfectly safe to drink.
Such pure water.
Chicken operator today, baby. Woo! Getting into bed a little earlier tonight. We didn't get out till about 10 a.m. this morning, and we really want to make some distance tomorrow, so the plan is to get up a bit earlier and hopefully get to the Rio Ventesquere, the confluence of it, tomorrow evening. We have a few obstacles along the way, including a big portage around a massive rapid, and then I think a class 3, which we're both a little apprehensive about, considering that class 2 today felt extremely hairy. So nothing like a good night's rest to refresh the brain. So for now I'm going to turn my head off and drift off to sleep. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night.
Looks like a beautiful day outside. It rained a little bit last night, but I got a decent sleep. Ready to eat some breakfast and tackle the next 30K.
Back on the main branch of the Rio Baker, we had a little side stream that we slept on last night. Had a great night's sleep, but we're back on the river. And the beautiful part about today is not much headwind. Very little right now. So we're just going with the current and we're making good time, better time than we did yesterday. And we're not even paddling. The river's so voluminous that all these swifts have these diverging currents which create boilers, which is water seeping up from underneath other flows and kind of bubbling like it's boiling, and it makes for a very unstable and unsettling paddle. Unfortunately, these crafts are very buoyant and they feel fairly stable, but I feel relatively out of control at times, especially when the currents converge and diverge and boil from underneath. We're about 1 kilometer away from a class 3, and judging from the satellite images, it looks a lot hairier than the class 2 that we ran back there. Yeah, oh boy, he's right. It's just going to be big water, but with all the boils and all the converging and diverging currents and all the water coming through here, it's yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. So the goal is to make it on the other end in the boat. If you come out of the boat, stay with the boat, stay with your paddle, and everything should be good. I got everything locked in here. I get why you have knee brakes for this thing. I don't have them in. Okay. Big wave. Big break.
Nice. Nice. Come on. Do this.
Grab on, there's grabs here. Yeah, I'm glad you kept your paddle.
Yeah, buddy.
You good?
No let go yet.
Yeah.
Man, this thing is so sketchy.
Dude, I almost flipped like 3 times too. Here, pass it.
I was so close, I just hit a big wave.
Dude, me too. Nice, turn look clear. Good stuff.
Patagonia, you wanna kill me?
Yeah.
That was wild.
Can't capture the camera because it's too far away, but over on the other bank there's a group of 4 horses. Around here there's farms and open ranges and stuff, and for cattle, and all of them they can just like roam free. So it's cool to see these 4 horses out here. They may as well be wild the way they live their lives out here in Patagonia. Just over yonder is a class 5, which basically means it's a massive waterfall. Considering there's this amount of water going through it, it's just deadly. So we're looking for a portage to make our way around the kilometer-long rapid, and hopefully with these. Might be right here. So this here is the benefit of the pack raft. That's the pack raft. These are my paddles. And I can fit all of that on my back with ease. It'll be so easy. Whew. About 800 meters of portage coming up, then we'll see. Well, everything's sitting really well, though it is quite heavy. I'm guessing I'm 30 to 35 kilograms right now. It is very heavy. Fortunately, this is not Aconcagua. We're not at altitude. This is relatively flat. So I'm happy. He's just showed me these. These are an edible little flower, apparently at least. Fuchsia. Good water. Oh my God. Whoa. 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 Maybe I shouldn't have my big camera. Well, we almost made it to the Ventesquero. A few more kilometers to go, but we found this sandy pitch right here across from this waterfall in this beautiful mountainous area, and we just have to stop. Sausage, biscuits, and gravy.
This is 100% one of the best campsites I ever did.
Yeah, this is easily one of the best campsites I've ever been to.
What a day, eh?
Great day, man.
A day of big water, man.
You went for a little swim.
I did go for a swim.
I remember looking back and you were just like, you're good, and then I looked back again and the thing was upside down. I was like, oh! Yeah, there goes these. Felt like going up a hill.
Yeah. Mountains of water, you know? Nuts.
It didn't look like it from the shore, but it was so big.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't make it to the Ventesquero today. Still have 5-7-ish kilometers to go, but you know, when opportunities arise, you gotta jump on them, and this is one of those. This campsite's insane. Absolutely insane. But we'll paddle out to the Ventesquero tomorrow and be up and on our way into the mountains.
Good morning, everyone. The next day, it's official. Big day today. that contrast from Aconcagua. I'm getting 1s and 2s on the mountain. I'm getting 90s.
Big day today. Big day. Well, we made it out of the dodgy, narrow area where the water was so voluminous and the channel was narrow, and we're in a much more open plains type of area. I think we'll be coming up to the Rio Ventosqueri very shortly. This will be a nice change of pace. Rio Baker is voluminous and intimidating. Alright, we made it to the mouth of the Ventosqueri. I'm hauling most of my gear up. Ease has ditched some gear here to save some weight, which makes sense. I couldn't really pick through most of my stuff. I'm going to bring everything, so I'm going to bring everything up to my better judgment. We have roughly 20 kilometers of upriver travel to do, many river crossings, and about 300 meters of elevation gains. Not a ton, but not nothing. It'll be a haul of a 2 to 3 day trip. Cool thing about pack rafting is in the middle of your trip you can throw down a 20-kilometer long portage over 2 days and have it not being that big of a deal. In a canoe it would take a week?
Yeah.
A week? Alright, 3 kilometers in, about an hour, first crossing. Back on our way, about 4K in. We're hoping to do about 10 total for the day. Progress is good. The crossing wasn't bad, but it seems like we'll have 5, 10, 15 crossings total to do. It's all about efficiency. But yeah, the goal is the lake up here. See this snowy peak right here? Just on the other side of that snowy peak. And just before this one. So there's a beautiful lake nestled in there, in which we hope to explore, hopefully tomorrow. We're trying to gauge where to go based on satellite imagery. There's only so much data here and there's only so much you can read from an image from space. On my map it looks really clear and open, but then you get down here and it's kind of like this. So far the going's been great though. No complaints from me. It's been really good. Well, it's about 6 p.m. and we made it 10 kilometers for the day, which is amazing considering we started hiking just before 12. So 10K in 6 hours. Plus, we had a little bit of an incident. I we were having a little bit of a break back there, and I realized I didn't have my tripod on me, so we had to hike back 2 kilometers using Gaia GPS to track exactly where we had been, and luckily I found my tripod deep in the bushes, and it was kind of a miracle, to be honest. So a little bit of rigmarole, rolling back onto that away, but we got her done and we got the tripod back and all's good. But we have a bit of a bushy campsite for the day, but it's not even an adventure unless you have a bush site. Probably not. So this Durson X Dome is the best tent I've used in a long time. I absolutely love it. For a single man freestanding tent, it's sick. I'm so stoked with it. Good size, great weight. I love it. Easy to set up. Great time. Hey guys, real quick, I gotta show you something. We have a video sponsor for the day, and that's Element. Everybody knows the importance of replenishing your electrolytes. When you sweat, you lose electrolytes. You lose salts and other things that you need to replenish. Very important. Otherwise, muscle cramps, headaches, general fatigue, very common. So when you sweat, you lose that water, you lose that salt, you need to replenish it. This is where Element comes in. Element is an electrolyte drink mix, and Element tastes great. There's 8 flavors, I love them all, and that's important because if it tastes good, you want to drink it. So I find myself drinking a lot more water, which is very important for me because I don't find myself hydrating as much. So not only am I getting my electrolytes, but I'm drinking more water and I'm staying nice and hydrated. Very, very important. On top of that, these things weigh next to nothing. So I could pack in a couple dozen of these on my trips, and I'm drinking lots of water, replenishing my salts, having a good time. Before, I was drinking things like those plastic sprays with concentrated drink mixes in them, and those are full of sugar, artificial colors, and they just ramp you up in a weird way, make you feel all jittery, and then make you crash. Element, no sugar, no artificial color, none of that dodgy stuff. I'm very happy to be packing Element in my bag. It was such a great find for me, and I'm really happy to share with you guys. If any of you guys are interested in trying out Element, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, use the link down below, make a purchase on the website, you get a free sample pack. One of each flavor, all 8, absolutely free. So go use that link. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you Element for sponsoring this video. Yeah! Oh, get in! Woo! Woo! Whoa, hit it! Whoa, that's cool. I'm going to. Well, we made it halfway up the Rio Ventesquero without too much of a hassle, which is a good sign, meaning the likelihood of us getting up to the glacial lake is pretty high. The unfortunate bit is that there are still strong southwesterly winds over the next few days, as has been happening throughout this trip. And the glacier on the far side of the lake is to the north, which means that the 6-kilometer paddle from the entrance of the lake to the far side will be quite easy with the tailwinds, but it'll mean that in these pack rafts, it's virtually impossible to paddle back. The winds just take these small little crafts and eat them up, and sure they do well in the rivers, but on flat lake with strong winds, they don't do so well. So we will see what we can do about getting to the glacier tomorrow. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine. Rise and grind.
Back on our way. 10-ish K to go. Out bright and early. It's around 9 a.m. Already made our first river crossing of the day. Just a beautiful morning. Nice to be on the trail. I got a great night's sleep. Everything is great until it was. Bum, bum, We got a bit of a demanding river crossing. We can't go up this way any further. We have to cross this strong current to the other side, but it's on an outside bank, so the river is flowing quite fast on the far side. So we have about 50 meters to make it to this rock landing. If we don't, we're gonna have to beach on this outer bank, which is also very steep and kind of insecure. Worst comes to worst, we're gonna drift down a little bit, collect ourselves, and try a different way. Woohoo! Nice! Oh, that's great! Woo!
Nice one.
One of many for the day. We're walking through this moss for the last 10-15 minutes, and it's exhausting. It's like walking on a massive kitchen sponge. It just takes all the energy out of you. We have another river crossing coming up. We've done about 5 kilometers for the day, which is absolutely amazing. We're absolutely crushing it. Heating up some food to cook some lunch because we're both hungry. We got this crossing, I think 2, if not 3 more river crossings after this, and then we'll be at the lake. I'm looking up the valley now. Actually, it's just around this bend. Can't see it at the moment, but it's getting really pretty. I'm super excited to be up there. A few more hours and a few more crossings, and we'll be at the big, beautiful, gorgeous lake. Looks like a chanterelle, but it's not. Chanterelles are really tasty, but this one is clearly not. True chanterelles have false gills. False chanterelles have true gills. Real chanterelles smell like apricot. This one smells like just a typical mushroom. Here we have coral fungus. That's pretty. Look at that thing. There's a nice little moist microclimate in here to facilitate growth for lots of mushrooms. It's really cool. So on the way down, we're gonna run all these rapids. That's the easiest and quickest way out. But we just came out of the woods, and this is a pretty burly class 2 with a rock in the middle that we have to keep note of, because hitting rocks in the middle of the river is a bad thing. Not much opportunity to scout on the way out because it's so quick. That'll just be like read and run situation. So there's a question mark up here whether or not we have to cross the river. We might be able to do a little bit of a sneak by, in which case, that's all the crossings for the day. Fingers crossed at least. We're gonna try to make our way up over this left side here around that rock face, which looks pretty big. Otherwise we have to cross the river by ferry here. Well, the skip worked, so we very well could be at the lake in a kilometer or 2 without any more crossings. All right, well, we made it to the lake. Exactly 11.7 kilometers for the day, so that's almost 22 kilometers from the mouth to Here, absolutely gorgeous. Feeling pretty knackered. That was a tough day. Lots of decision making. Glad to be here, but now we're confronted with this wind. It's gonna really limit our abilities to paddle our pack rafts right now, so we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I'm gonna give my pack raft a go, see if I can make some better progress paddling. Issue is that there's headwinds, so we'll see. Woo! It was a challenging day, but we're now reaping the rewards of our labor, and that's this big, hostile, windy lake. Woo!
All right, here is an overview of the route. The pink is some tracking data. We started up here around this dot, made our way down the Rio Baker to the Ventesquero, headed up the Ventesquero over the last few days. Here we are on the tip of this little point here. There's a big old glacier down here at the end of the lake, which we can see, but it's about 4 kilometers away down the lake, and this lake has perfectly vertical walls here. So we're like in an absolute like entrapment area. If the winds aren't in our favor, it's a really bad place to be. We'd love to go check that out tomorrow. We'll see what the winds say. And if they're in our favor, meaning they're not blowing us there, because we need to get back. If they're blowing us there, bad news bears. All right, we need to be able to come back. No wind or wind coming this way is all we can do. The other thing we'd like to do is come up to this lake here. So we'd have to climb up this small little river here to this lake, camp somewhere on this lake, and then go check out this glacier too, which would be absolutely super cool. Problem is, this is quite a bit more elevation gain than what we had just done, and that's like another 9 kilometers, so that's like another full day of strenuous work to go check out that glacier. If we want to do any of these objectives up here, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and the wind needs to be in our favor because we still need to come out all the way to the coast.
All right, good morning, everyone. Beautiful morning. It's nice to be up early. I'm getting good sleep, so I'm quite happy. Coffee's running low, so that's not great, but the weather has been fantastic. So unbelievably nice that I'm astonished. When we checked the forecast for this thing about a week out, it was rain every single day. And so far, not a drop. So today we're going to be making our way up to the higher lake, which involves another 9K portage, which is not insignificant. We're gonna forego the glacier down at the end of the lake for now. It's about a 4K paddle, and it's way down there in an intimidating walled off section, which could leave us stranded if the winds pick up. So the goal, head up to the higher lake, camp there, go check out that glacier first thing in the morning. It's a bit short of a paddle, and then come back down tomorrow early afternoon.
I mean, if you had one pack raft.
If I was alone?
Yeah.
If I was alone, that's a huge mess up.
You would have been done.
Massive.
And so as we're paddling to this new valley here, there's a glacier and snow-covered peaks heading up that valley, and this is the
southernmost tip of the northern ice field here in southern Chile. It's a massive expanse of snow, glaciated ice, and frost-covered peaks. At its highest points, it's about 3,000 meters, and through the valleys there, it's just pure snow, ice, and it's just permanently frozen. And so we could just feel the cold air seeping off it, like when you open up a big freezer in the summer and all that cold air just seeps out. It's quite cold actually. I'm really feeling the frosty air coming off this thing.
So I was munching on some of these berries yesterday. And I know you're not supposed to eat wild berries that you can't identify, but here we are. They taste delicious, they're sweet. I'm spitting them out, but they're really good. I'm curious what they are. It's scary. It's about 9:30 and the winds have come in, meaning if we went down to that glacier, it could have been a bad situation. If we want to go check out the glacier down at the end of this lake, we have to be up on the water at 6:30. That's it. That's all we can do. And then we have to be back by 9:30 because as soon as that sun peaks up above the mountains, starts changing the temperatures, and it just creates all these wind currents, wind effects, and Packcraft doesn't like those things. So it's a scary environment. Everything's trying to kill you. There's this massive landslide area right here, and we've been hearing rumbling coming through this valley all night into today, and we were wondering what it was. I was thinking it was landslides, avalanches, or ice calving from the glacier. But this is awfully suspicious as there's fresh rubble from this landslide here. You can tell it's fresh because it's really dusty. Rain would wash a lot of that dust off. So we want to make our way through this section with haste. This really is a special place. It's extremely hostile. It's so beautiful. And very few people have ever been up here. You could just tell. It's just, there's no paths anywhere. We were lucky to find some animal trails leading up to the last lake, but from here out, nothing. I'm sure there's only a handful of people that have ever been able to set foot back here. It's just so grateful to be able to experience this. And at a time when these glaciers still exist. Every little bit we get further up this valley, the more epic it gets and the more hostile it gets. The sun's up, so it's a little bit warmer. That cold wind is treacherous. So this place is absolutely incredible, and it just gets more and more beautiful the further we make our way up this valley. I'm ripe with stoke. I'm so excited to be here. This is amazing. What a spectacular place. And it's so untouched. Very few people have ever been up here. Probably just a handful, if anything. Took a nice little lunch on the side of the middle section of the waterfall here. Great little spot to just have a break. We still have quite a ways to go. Hopefully the remainder is a little easier than this steep bouldery section we had to scramble up. But we'll see. We're gonna take it slow and one step at a time. So the river that we were just on, it got canyoned out. So we saw in satellite images that there were some little lakes here and they look stagnant, and figured we'd come give these a try because it was our best route up. Looks like we could pack raft across these. And I'm guessing this used to be an old channel and it would have gotten blocked off by these landslides here and turned them into these beautiful little oases. This trip would be virtually impossible without a pack raft. This little craft is really showing its value right now, as some of these obstacles that we've met would be impassable without a boat. And hiking 20, now almost 30 kilometers up this mountain valley, can't really carry a canoe. Take a week. We managed to skip this part by heading through this little lake here that's been blocked off by landslides. I guess the river used to fork here, but it's since closed down. Wow. Woohoo! Yeah! One of the best feelings of the day, getting out of your wet, dirty, disgusting, rock-filled shoes and putting on your Crocs. Oh, that's glorious! So I didn't calculate my food very well. I have 8 freeze-dry meals left, and I need 11 more if I continue to eat the way I've been eating, which is 3 of them a day, which doesn't work. So I can have 1 of these today, and then the rest of the days I can only have 2 a day. So a breakfast and a dinner, meaning no lunch for me, which is that'll be very challenging, because we've been working hard. The benefit is we're heading downriver, so. Yeah, I'm used to going on canoe trips where I just throw a ton of food in the food barrel and kind of just guesstimate the amount of food I need. And then when I was climbing Aconcagua, which I had to be a little bit more precise about, I wasn't eating nearly as much food as I normally would on any other given trip, because the altitude kind of really messes with your appetite. But out here, I'm working hard. We're basically at sea level. I'm burning calories right now, and I'm taking in all the calories I can get. A hamburger at the end of this is gonna taste really good, so at least there's that.
Oh,
almost hit it.
That was so close. That's a big one. Yeah. Whoa, that's terrible.
Oh shit, that's over.
Oh no,
Hit it.
it was close. Yeah. Go! Oh,
Hey!
nice one.
Check out where we are. This is the southern regions of South America, Patagonia and Chile, Argentina, Chile, and we are just in the southern point of the northern ice field. Gonna go check out that glacier tomorrow.
That was a challenging day, but the views were worth the effort. And to be somewhere where very few people have ever been is a great reward for all the challenge. What a special place. Tomorrow we're gonna wake up bright and early and paddle across to the glacier and then head back down and out. Still got a big trip ahead of us. But for now, sleep. Good night.
Good morning, it's 6 a.m. We're getting a bright and early start to go see the glacier. A little later than we were hoping, but it's okay. We're still gonna get out and it's gonna be great. Pretty good.
In my life, I've been lucky enough to go to some pretty amazing wild places. But as far as pure wilderness goes, this is as pure as it gets. A lot of places I've visited are often traveled by people. There's paths and portage trails and cabins, and heck, sometimes I even see people out there. But this place, completely untouched by humans. It's never been forested. There's no roads that lead here, no buildings. Heck, there's not even a trail. It took us 3 days and 15 river crossings using a pack raft just to get here. Only a handful of humans have ever stepped foot up in this area. What a beautiful world we live in. You just hear rock fall all around us. Saw a couple boulders fall down over here. This is a sketchy place, a sacred place, not meant for humans. You come, you look, you leave. Amazing to be here. Time to go. Well, it's been about 4 hours and we made it back to the big lake. That's 40 kilometers of hiking, carrying 2 big bags and a boat. 40 kilometers. Done. Now we paddle. The hiking portion's done, but still lots of water to come. And hopefully by the end of this, we're gonna make it down to the ocean. We're gonna wake up bright and early and make it out as quick as possible to see how far we can make it. Because our goal of ending up in the ocean is looking like it might be real challenging. Well, we made it across the lake. Now we just hit the flow of the Vente Scary and saying goodbye to the beautiful views of the terrifying large glacier lake. Well, after tonight's meal, which is a measly 580 calories, this is all the food I have left for the next 3 days. Tomorrow I'm gonna eat that. Day 9, I'm gonna eat that, and then no food, day 10. I definitely have a lot more incentive to fish now, though I don't think there's any fish here. Definitely not in this section. This rapid is too intense. This tiny little tributary has done. When I make it down to the Rio Baker, I'll definitely be fishing. That was a very productive day. We made it to the glacier and back down onto the Vente Scary all in one day. I'm feeling pretty beat, at a calorie deficit right now, but just paddling from here on out, so that's a plus. 40K of hiking really takes it out of you. It's been a challenging last couple of days, but stoked to sleep tonight. After that though, we got a long, hard couple of days of paddling to make it to the coast. But for now, see you guys in the morning. Good night.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Oh, I had a great night's sleep. We slept in, so that was much needed. But it's time for breakfast and time to start running down the Vente Schero. Got some big rapids to start, which is a little nerve-wracking.
All right, so this morning had a little sleep in, which was great. Both of us had awesome rest. Short little portage and then run, baby. We're running this river back to the Rio Baker. So this is the type of rapid we're gonna run. Lots of boulders. So we're gonna have to be really quick, dodging in and out of them, reading and running as we go. There's not gonna be too much opportunity to scout. We have to be sharp, on our game, and it's gonna be a very by the second situation, which should be fun. All right, well, big camera's going away. Time to roll. All right, just about ready to go. Keep in mind, everything looks a lot smaller on the action cameras. And also, everything's a little bit scarier when you're 8 days deep in Patagonia on a wild river that's far from civilization. Remember, stay with the boat. Yeah. Don't lose your paddle.
Yeah. Let's do this, buddy.
All right.
Vamos.
All right, buddy.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
So I'm saying it's big water, dude. Big water. Whoa, rock. What? Yeah. All right, this is where things get dicey. Just be on your A game. You okay? Yeah. Yeah, I hit the same hole as you. I flipped too.
Yeah, so.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. We both went through the same hole. You okay?
Very hairy.
Well, yeah, I know. I said that from the beginning. I said it's big water with lots of boulders.
It is big water.
I know. That's what I've been saying.
That wasn't even the biggest rapid.
No, that's not the big rapid yet.
Oh my god.
I know. So I'm saying this stuff is hairy, and then there's a bit of a gap, and then it gets really hairy. Well, we went for a swim. He's got a little banged up. I managed to get back in my boat and gain control again, and we found our way into this eddy. And I saw on the map that it got squirrely through here, and sure enough, got pretty squirrely. And it continues like this for another 200 meters. Then it gets a little calmer, just a little, before absolute chaos.
Well, that's 2 swims now for the trip, and I hope, I don't know if it's gonna be the last, we're gonna find out, but feeling okay, a little banged up, but happy to be here.
This is the way to do it. That's the way to do it up the sneak route.
Yeah, sneak. Let's sneak. Do bike.
Well, we'll see about this big section.
Yo.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
So this is where it calms out before chaos. All right, so the plan, while it might be feasible to go on the far side through this little channel, there's a lot of flipping action going on, and it requires really precise moves to do way out in the wilderness. So the safe play and the smart play and the play we're gonna make is to do the sneak line. And that will be just coming on the inside here, trying to avoid these boulders, trying to avoid getting kicked out. And then on the inside here, that's gonna be the biggest obstacle, is this flipper here. All right, so doing the sneak line, up the left side, back paddling, trying to avoid the holes. Having fun. Okay. Woo! Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Oh shit. Alright, I'm gonna get the wave straight now, but yeah. All right, well, we made it down the Vente Scaro back to the Rio Baker. We're gonna be making our way down in just a little bit. Ease is back there getting his cash. He stashed probably 15 pounds of gear. I left a battery bank with him. But yeah, objective number 2 is coming right up. That's making it to the ocean. We have probably 70 or 80 kilometers to go to make it there. And it'll be quite a challenging thing to do, as who knows how the winds will behave over the next few days. They've been awful. Up until this point right now, this is about as good as they've ever been. So we're gonna hope to make some good distance right now, see how far we get for the day. The problem is we're very low on calories. I have 3 meals left and 2 bars. Well, Ease just went through the amount of calories he had remaining, and he has just about the same amount as me, if not slightly less. Well, we expected rain this whole trip, and it's finally here. Seven full days of sunshine in Patagonia is unheard of. We are absolutely fine right now. We've been sitting here chatting about all the meals we wish we brought. Yeah. Counting the calories that we have left. I have about 1,000 a night, and then about 1,800 tomorrow, and then that's it. About half of what I would normally eat on a given day.
Yeah, I got 600 tonight and about 2,000 tomorrow. Not bad, 2,000.
Not bad.
I'll take that.
Almost there.
Hungry times. Hungry times.
I think this will be the first trip where I eat absolutely everything that I brought.
Yeah, me too.
Even all the Advil. We have about 40 kilometers to make it to the coast. Winds have picked up for now, but if we wake up early in the morning, maybe we can make some good progress. And heck, maybe we can even make it there tomorrow. There's a town there, which would mean food. And food's good. Food's really good. I feel like I'm at quite a calorie deficit. All my own doing. Turns out planning ahead goes a long way, and I did not plan food at all on this trip. In fact, on most of my trips I don't. Usually I just pack a ton and like, that's good enough. But because we had to save on weight, I skimped out in the wrong ways. But it was a lesson learned, and I'm alright, so it's all good.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's I'd like to say it's a fine morning, but it's far from it. The winds have been howling absolutely all night, and they've been very consistent. And as soon as I poke my head out this tent, they just eat me up. And of course, they're headwinds and going in the opposite direction of which we'd like to go. So our goal to make it to the ocean is looking bleak. That's it. 500, 400, 1100 calories. And this is all the coffee I have left. Ah, it's hot.
We're here. Sea is there. 30 to 40 kilometers to go. Back on the water bright and early. Got a big paddle today. And the winds that we were experiencing last night, the whipping, crazy winds that gave us doubt, have since subsided, at least slightly. Still quite a bit of headwind, but it's not nearly as bad as it was before. We're gonna give it all we got and see if we can finish this trip up today. The winds haven't been too bad. We're making great progress. Things are looking up. It's all the food. Well, we're just a few kilometers from the ocean, so it seems like we're gonna make it out today. It seemed like it was gonna be a bleak and challenging paddling sesh this morning as the winds were quite high, though that all chilled out as we got on the water, and in typical Patagonia fashion, it was just not in the cards. We did not predict it. What's crazy about this trip is this region is known for having really unpredictable weather, though the weather that we experienced was just bright, beautiful, sunny days. But what was great is we got to experience some really untouched nature. We went to a place where very few people have ever set foot. Probably only a handful of groups have ever been up to that glacier. And that's thanks to these pack rafts. These things are absolutely incredible and can take you to some really remote places. I'm just grateful for the whole experience, and honestly, it wouldn't have been possible if my buddy Ease didn't invite me. This is all his idea. This was his plan, and I'm just very grateful. He actually has his own YouTube channel, so I suggest you guys go check it out. I'll leave a link down below. He makes some really cool videos. And that's about it. We're gonna make our way out to the ocean in just a few minutes, and then head to the town of Tourtel, where we'll be eating some delicious food. Can't wait. It's not bag food. It's so good.
Yum.
Yeah, sure. Why not? There you go. Thank you.
I've been waiting for this.